Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So last time, I started working on, this back part of her head, because for whatever reason, when I went up to the upper right, I just thought it looked really uncomfortable and gross. I think it's looking a lot better now. So now I'm going to start lining this up with the top turn, and then I'm going to go worry about my other right turns here. Overall, I think it's looking pretty okay on the left, but I will definitely take a closer look at it just to make sure. But first, I'm gonna line it up with the top. So that's the first order of business. I don't quite like how I was stretching out this dark shadow here. I'm sure there was a reason that I did it in the past, but I don't know what it is anymore, and I don't think it's working. So, off to fix it. I'm wondering if it's one of the reasons that the upper right just felt really uncomfortable for some reason. There are probably many reasons. And it's alright, I'm just gonna come through and fix them all. So the first thing that I was noticing was, yeah, the shadow I felt like was just creeping up a little bit too high. So I'm gonna line it up with the top, and then I'll worry about moving things, yeah, because I can see that this is not... Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there. I will definitely have to figure that out. But it looks like it might be creeping a little bit high on the right turn, too. It actually looks like it's not going quite high enough on the top turn. So I might have a few things to fix in this area. That shadow seems to be very mysterious. There's probably a few things wrong in a few areas here. And it would explain why that area just always felt so uncomfortable on those right turns. If there was just this many things wrong. Because I didn't feel it as hard on the lower right turns, but I felt it really hard on the upper right. So honestly, I'm glad to be here fixing it. I do think it's kind of funny how things can look pretty okay in many directions, and yet there's still something that's just not quite right. A little bit scary sometimes. I'm being honest, the fact that I could just kept going through all this and never noticed. It's like, that is a little bit scary to think about. Just how many other things am I not noticing here? While I'm thinking about it, I might as well do just, every angle. Okay, I think that's looking a little bit better. I think that shadow's mostly in a decent place. So let's see, I just saw a little something right here. I just felt like it's hard to explain. Let me go back to the original. But on the original, things kind of come down fairly straight here, and then there's a little curve that kind of curls backward. And I had that little spot that kind of curls backward, starting at the wrong spot. It was a little bit too high. That was the impression that I got, at least. So, I'm gonna go try to adjust where that point starts. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I don't actually mind the movement in the highlights, so I think I'll call that good for now. And I'll see if I want to change it a little bit more later. Okay, I think I want on this lower, or this upper turn, I think I want to take the very, very bottom of it and just raise it up a little bit. I do not feel like it's going up quite enough here. It makes sense that the outer rims would not move upward quite as much as, like, the rest of things here, because, strictly speaking, the back of her head is going to be kind of going down rather than up. But I think I want it to be a little bit more up than it currently is. That's actually a little bit too much. When I said a little bit, I meant a little bit. Just a little bit. So overall, it should stay fairly constant. Okay, I think that's okay. Now I just want to straighten some things out at the bottom. Make it very nice. I'm not quite sure where the thing that I was seeing was, so it might take a couple of tries for me to find it and get it the way I want, but yes, I see that this highlight here, it's like moving inward. It's got a weird shapy quality to it. I might also need to fix the strand. I always forget how in the original the strand is actually kind of sticking out here a bit and is not smooth. So yeah, let's get that too while I'm right here. I'm gonna get that first actually, because it's really weird and awkward. Which one is it? There it is. There we go. And besides, it's nice and easy. I mean, look how easy that was. Okay. Now I can go back and straighten out that highlight a little bit. Yeah, the angle is just changing drastically. It's actually... I say this all the time about the hair here. It is quite straight. Quite straight. I think there's a lesson to be learned here. A lesson that I could hopefully take into some of my future hair drawings. Make them a little bit straighter. The results will be better than you expect. Speaking of drawing, I was hoping to get my speed paint for my new header up today. Or yesterday, rather. Should be able to do it today. But, I totally forgot how long it takes to render very long videos. In this case, you know, the video itself isn't that long. I always try to keep them like 20-25 minutes or so. But I had a lot of footage because it took me a while to draw all that. And... It takes a while to render that much footage. It took about 12 hours. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to upload it yesterday. So hopefully I'll be able to get it today. That's just assuming that I like the way everything is and I don't have to render it again. I didn't get a chance to check it this morning. But I assure you, it is coming. It'll come as soon as rendering allows. You know, I've said before, if you ever want to get some amount of appreciation for what someone does, whether that be your favorite artist or, you know, even your mom, just try to do what they do. Try to actually sit down and do it. And you're just gonna find so many things you never thought possible. Because, man, I don't know how so many YouTubers are able to make videos. I'm not a huge fan of editing in general. Or editing videos myself, I guess I should say. And... but the rendering time, man, the rendering time is what always gets me. And if I make a mistake, I have to go back, you know, fix the mistake, do the thing, and then I have to render it again. And when it takes 12 hours, I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do you people manage to keep schedules with this? But yeah, I guess it's just something that you get used to. And I can't treat it quite like art where I go, or, you know, rigging here, where I make a tiny fix, zoom out, check it, and then do the next tiny fix. It's like, there, well, you better get all your fixes done in one attempt. Otherwise, you're gonna have to render for another 12 hours. You cannot just do tiny incremental changes like this. If you do, if you try, you're gonna be suffering hard, man. So that's my adventures with attempting to edit videos. It has given me new appreciation for these highly edited videos that a lot of people do. Or for these people that do time lapses that have more editing to them and also just have, you know, several days worth of footage. It's like, man. Hello there, Yogi Kitty. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty alright. Just fixing up some hair and talking about editing videos. Editing videos giving me new appreciation for people that make content on the internet. That's a lot of dog food. So you have dogs then? Alright, now that I feel like I've fixed up all the stuff down there, I'm gonna start working on that highlight. Ah, I see. Puppies do tend to be very naughty. Very energetic little creatures. Alright, I think that's pretty okay. I want to adjust kind of the strands next to it too. I'm curious. Oh no! Well, I mean, you know, dogs like sticks, right? To a dog who does not understand the purpose of a pen, it just looks like a nice, fun stick. Yeah, gotta be careful when where you leave things when you have a puppy in the house. Puppies are gonna get into much mischief. Honestly, I feel the same way about small children. My kids have gotten into so much mischief. Definitely gotta be careful. So right now what I'm looking at is this strand here, and then the angle of this dark spot coming through. Trying to line all of those little pieces up, but it's a bit hard because they're all kind of connected by the same vertices. I meshed this in a way where I was like, you know, I don't think I'm going to be moving this area very much, so I'm not going to worry about it. I probably should have worried about it a little bit more. I think it would have made my present self's life a little bit easier if my past self just worried a little bit more about it. But it's okay. I think I'll be able to make it work. See, this is why it's important to take care of your future self. And take care of whatever you can to help them out. Because it means in the future, when they're here to clean up whatever messes you make, they'll have your back, and they won't feel resentful about the actions that you did. I always like to think of my future self as a separate person. Nice, that's a pretty good-sized little family. My family situation growing up was a little bit weird in that my mom had multiple marriages, so she had kids from other marriages, and so I was my dad's only child, but not my mom's. So I had the experience of both being an only child and having siblings. It was pretty interesting, actually. So I can kind of understand both perspectives. Is that what they tell you? And this little pink spot that goes underneath here is so interesting. It likes to weave in and out of places. So I gotta be careful where I put it. Okay. Really, to figure out where it should go, I'm paying a little bit more attention to the shadow areas around it. I think that's a bigger hint of where it should go. I see. Yeah, sometimes genetics are funny like that. They can come from a lot of weird places. Genetics really are very interesting, though. Just, all the things that make up who we are contained in just, a little bit of protein. Oh dear. Like, literally, or are you just, saying that maybe she's a little bit on the paranoid side? Or is otherwise prone to making funny but inaccurate comments. Okay, I'm getting a little further into things than I really intended to, but I guess it's fine. I'll have to do it eventually. And I'm having a good time going through it, so I'll just keep going for the time being. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes things just work out like that. Well, hopefully she's living fine, and hopefully you guys' life is a bit better, or at least a bit less of a headache without that kind of energy there. Alright, now let's line this up with the upper right again. Because now I think I have that angle looking much better than it was before. So I can just go right in. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's lining up much better. In fact, I think I can even bring that shadow up just a little bit higher. So I'm gonna do that. That's good. Trying to kind of even out the vertices while I do that too, so this way things don't squirm. Make sure that it's all lined up nicely. Alright. So I think that's pretty good. Before I move on, I think I do want to kind of straighten out this area. Get the area between this hair and the side bank that I worked on earlier. They're kind of connected. And I am really going to have to dig into this strand as well. This strand is, like, way far off. I remember last time I worked on this, I was having a really hard time getting that into place. So I'll do that today. Once again, present self coming to the past self's rescue. Because I was just having trouble, I was staring at it for a while, and then I just got hungry. And it's hard to do good work when you're hungry. Oh yeah, I think I'll do that strand as well, but first, I just want to get everything in this middle area lined up. Some of it looks like it got stretched out pretty high. So I'm just gonna slide it all back down. Help it find its way. I think there's a place for every little vertex here. I just gotta take the time to find it. What is that squirming there? Is it... Right now, what I need to check is what I'm seeing squirming here this layer or the side bang? Let's go hide the side bang for a second. Let's have another bald jump scare for just a sec. While I double check. This is squirming a little bit. Let's consult the mesh. See where it thinks that these couple of vertices that I don't have quite right should go. Okay. I see it. And it's nice because I don't think that the vertices on the top turn and the upper left should be that different in this case. Like, it's going to be a little bit stretched out, but in terms of verticality, I think they should be about the same. So I can use that as a solid hint for where many of these should go. I'm not actually sure how much this area matters. It's going to be basically completely covered by the side bank. But, well, I see the problem, so I figure I might as well just kind of touch it a little bit. Just touch it up. See if that makes those vertices just a little bit happier. Okay, something like that should be pretty close. So if there's any other squirming, it might actually be a problem in the side bang, and it looks like it is. Let's go hide this layer and really check this now. Oh yeah, that's some squirming there. Okay. Let's fix that. What is causing this problem? Oh my. Okay, well, that was a fairly easy thing to find. Let me see. How's that supposed to be lined up? Something like this, I think. Okay. With that change, is the problem fixed? Or are there other shenanigans that I still have yet to identify? Okay, I think that's much better. Now I can go in and start straightening out the middle. Okay. Yeah, this is looking much better than it was before. Things are slowly but surely coming together. And it's all small details that are not always easy to talk about. Right now I'm just kind of looking at the length of this pink strand here. And once I have that right, I'm going to check the length of this one. And then I can just go into making sure that the angle on this dark strand is right and this pink area. And once that's good, I think all will be well, and I can start lining it up with the right turn. And I would think I will actually be using my upper right turn to make sure that my right turn is looking right. That is a lot of saying right. I continue to lament that for whatever reason, English decided that right as in direction and right as in correct needed to use the same word. The same group of sounds. It's like, man, why couldn't we call it something else? Who decided this anyway? They have terrible taste. My goodness. Actually, I really am curious about the etymology of the word now. I won't go look it up right now. Knowing me, I'll probably forget to do it later, but I am curious about it. So maybe someday I will actually look into that. But I have time. We'll see if I remember to do it today. I know my kids are probably going to want to go to the park, so I'm not just going to be parked at my computer like I normally am. It's been warm enough that I've been able to take them. I took them yesterday, too. Ended up being a little bit windy, so we couldn't stay for a long time, but I don't know. I say that, but we were still at the park for a good 2 hours. They were having fun. My daughter wanted to make soup for the babies, which of course means gathering buckets of sand. Because this is a sandbox. It was very cute. She has so much mom energy, it's incredible. I don't think I've ever seen a 5-year-old with this much mom energy. There's even been times where instead of playing, she just wants to clean. She doesn't do a very good job of it, because she's 5, but the energy is there, and it's very sweet. Might need to straighten things up in this area. But first, let me just kind of make sure that I have everything in the right place. And then I'll worry about making everything super duper smooth. And perfecting it. I kind of like having a little bit more of the pink showing on this turn. I think it really shows that we're seeing more of this side of her head. So I think I actually like it like that. In fact, I think it could actually stand to have a little bit more down here. I think up here is perfect. Just looking at it relative to the... I'm basically figuring out where I want the shadow to go. Okay, and then I want to consult the mesh on this because I feel like there's a couple of vertices being stretched somewhere, but I'm not quite sure if I'm seeing it right. Okay, maybe they're not being stretched. Because this doesn't actually seem that far off. Okay. See, this is why I figured it was a good idea to check. Because in this case, I was wrong. I was not actually seeing what I thought I was. Okay, and it looks like the strand here is still a little bit too long. So maybe that's causing some of that stretching feeling that I was seeing. Let's find out. Man, it's really windy outside and there were some spooky noises. It was making some spooky noises. And it kind of freaked me out for a second there. But I'm pretty sure it's just wind. It's like I said, When I took my kids to the park yesterday, it was really windy too, so I'm not surprised that it's still a bit windy. Hopefully it's not too windy for me to take them to the park today. That'd be a little bit sad. Tuesday is normally the day we go to the park, so I like to honor that as much as I can. We haven't been able to go in a while just because it's been way too cold. But if it's too windy and they wouldn't have any fun anyway, then, well, we might stay home. My littlest one especially does not deal well with the wind. He wanted to go home early yesterday. I managed to convince him to stick around because there were some kids that my daughter wanted to play with, but it was hard. He was a bit sad about it for a while until he started playing with the kids too. And then he was a little bit happier to stay. So it worked out. But yeah, wind is strong enough that it's making spooky noises outside. Alright, gonna consult the mesh on this again, because no matter which direction I put a few of these vertices, the bottom part of this strand just never seems to be in the right place. Okay, I don't actually see a lot wrong in the mesh either, so that might just be how it is. Sometimes it is like that. I don't actually think it has to perfectly line up. I just want it to get close enough that it doesn't look weird to me. And I think this is probably fine. Alright, let's check the diagonal here. Am I satisfied with this? I feel like there's a little bit too much pink sticking out at the bottom. But everything else I think looks pretty good. So that means I can clean up some of the rough edges here and then move on. Yeah, just the very top here that I don't feel like is quite lining up right. I'm actually going to consult the mesh for this too. What is making me think you don't line up quite right? I mean, some of those vertices have to move. That's fine. Try to get some of these a little bit closer together. Okay, yeah, that seems fine. I was debating on whether or not I liked the location of some of these shadow areas, but I think it's actually okay. And it probably will look even better once I fix the right turn. So, okay, let's fix the right turn then. The one area that I'm not sure about here is the spot here, where I have it going a little further back up here and a little bit further forward over here. I'm not sure which of these is actually correct. So I'll probably be going back and forth to really check things over here. But what I do know is that this shadow is a little bit too high. So I want to line that up first. Just gotta start with the things that I'm a little bit more confident in, and then I can really dig into the areas that I'm not quite so sure about. Oh yeah, and I still have to fix this, don't I? I didn't fix that in the upper right. Okay, I guess I should do that first. Let me just fix the low-hanging fruit here. Areas that I already feel like I know the answer to. And then I'll go worry about that strand. Okay, that actually seems pretty good. I know that this definitely doesn't line up with the upper right. Okay, so now that I look closely, there is a part that sticks out here a little bit more than I think it should. So before I go and revisit upper right stuff, let's go fix this area that I know is not quite right. And this is how I tend to approach problems in any type of art, really. Just gotta start with what you know and build from there. Ideas will come, as long as you just keep moving. Okay, that seems fine so far. Oh, that actually lines up much better than it did before. Okay, that is fantastic. Let me see if I can pull out this spot here just a little bit. Remember at the start of today that I wasn't quite satisfied with where that little spot where it starts going back was, so I'm wondering if I just have it a little bit off here. And if everything will come together if I just line it up with my right turn changes. Yeah, that seems alright. It's being a little bit stretched out, so I'm gonna go see if I can make it a little bit less stretched out. Might not be able to. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try, though. Gonna try while the wind behind me keeps making very spooky noises and kind of freaking me out. Dude, it's really loud. And I feel like I'm in a haunted house with it. Even knowing what it is, my spine is tingling. There's just something about it, the way it's whistling through the window wells. Okay, let's see if that's enough to make it look like it's not sliding around quite as much anymore. Okay, there's still some stuff down here. Let me see who does it better here. I don't feel like the right turn does it very well, but I'm not sure if lining it up with the upper right will actually help that much in the long run. Okay, well, since I feel like the right isn't doing it very well, I guess that's what I'm gonna go ahead and line it up with the upper right. Gotta go with what's working. Sorry, being a little bit quiet right now while I try to figure out what's going on here. Which spots I like and which spots I don't. There's lots of little things that's just not quite lining up, but I'm also not quite sure how much I want to change them. Maybe I should just go work on that strand that I keep telling myself I need to go do. I just got absorbed in something else, and now my brain doesn't want to stop. But I think it might be fine. I think this is working out, so I'll just let my brain keep doing what it's doing. I'll get to those little strands eventually. But this area proved to be a little bit more complicated than I thought it was. I figured that I'd just be able to work my way through it nice and quick-like. There's lots of things, and the way this line ends up changing is also making things a little bit difficult, because I have to make sure that the vertices are spaced decently here. Otherwise, it's just gonna make that line freak out. And it doesn't look good when it's freaking out. It just doesn't. But it's more than the line that's not lining up. I might actually... Yeah, let's do this for a second, just so I can really check these things. Okay, so there's a thicker part here, and I think I've made it fairly thin all the way across on my upper turn, so I'll try to stretch that back out again. My foot was falling asleep too. That definitely didn't help. My legs are a bit sore after being cooped up inside all winter. They're not quite prepared for all the physical exercise that I've been giving them. See, I don't really mind being cooped up inside all winter. I just, know it is perhaps not very good for me. And I should make more of a point to get a bit more exercise. I'm just going to take a moment to kind of line up the vertices a little bit here. And hopefully get rid of all those squirming lines that are bothering me so much. It's a little bit easier to see where the problems on this particular layer exist without that layer underneath. So that layer underneath has lots of stuff going on it. There's a lot happening. Oh yeah, there we go. I think that looks better. I've gotten most of it. There's still a little bit down in this area that I'm not quite happy with. But otherwise, I think it's doing much better than it was. Actually, the way this is moving is very strange, so I kind of want to consult the mesh on it. Though I do not actually feel like it's that far off. So that's why I was so confused for a moment. I went in and I was thinking, how do I fix this? You know, I wish I had some idea. But I don't. So let's ask the mesh. The mesh always has ideas. The mesh is very smart. Okay, there we go. I think that's looking all right now. So now I can start lining up the hair next to it. Start getting that the way that I want it to be. Because, yeah, there's still a lot of squirming here. Look at that. I do have it lined up, like, perfectly up here, though. So hopefully I can just fix this right turn and keep almost everything in the upper right as it is. There might be a few spots that I fix up here. Like, I'm not sure if the very top of this strand is entirely correct. So So while I'm here, I'll go ahead and kind of adjust that. But other than that, I'm actually quite happy with how that is. So I'm going to start lining it up with this right turn here. I'm even going to consult the mesh to help me get everything into place. Man, but I really stretched out this mesh. Okay. Mesh consultation may not actually help me very much here. That's fine. I'll see what I can do. So I kind of want this pink area to go hide behind here a little bit. And we'll pull the top of this strand back here a little bit. And let it kind of hide. Okay, actually the top of this strand I think can come out a little bit more. Like I said, the very top of the strand was like the only place on the upper right that I wasn't happy with, so if I need to change it a little bit to line it up with the right turn, I think that's okay. And that still looks fine. And it looks so much better here. Okay, for the part over here now that I'm staring at, let's see if the mesh can help me out a little. It is very much a case of, when in doubt, check mesh. And I'm realizing that the top of this is a little bit crunchier than I thought, so I'm gonna try to smooth things out there. Once again, I find myself in a situation where there are problems that I just did not notice. I feel like it happens more than I'd like to admit. And then here I saw a part on the upper turn that I think is actually not entirely correct. Because there's like this little gray part at the bottom of this strand here. And I need to pull that up. So that spot right there should definitely be a little bit higher on my upper right turn than it is on my right turn. So right now I still think it's a little bit too low. And actually, let me, before I start moving it around too much, I want to double check it on the, just compared to the default turn there. I think I can actually make it a little bit lower here too. Not lining up quite perfectly. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And this line is exactly where I want it, so I'm going to try to avoid touching it. And just line things up a little bit better up here. Gonna hide the side bang again, so this way I can see a little bit better. Because there's probably a few crunchies going on there. Because, yeah, a lot of stuff got pushed around a little further up, but I don't think anything up here really matters. I'm just going to do some minor adjustments to make myself feel better, but I don't actually think up there matters very much. So I'm not going to dwell on it. Okay, let's turn that back on. Okay, that seems alright. Now it does feel like there's almost like a bubble here. Well, I'll want to fix that. Let's see, what's causing that? I don't actually know. What is causing that kind of bubbly feeling? That might be a job for my future self. So let's go ahead and take a look at this strand for a little bit before I decide to stop for today. So where exactly does it connect on the original? Not like at the bottom of this strand, but kind of in the middle of it. Okay, and now the only thing left is to figure out how it comes out the back here. How does it come out there? So it comes up here, and then just kind of goes, so that was actually less helpful than I was hoping. Okay, it actually looks like it's not quite connecting right up here either. So that might also be contributing to why I'm having a little bit of trouble. It gets stretched very far downward. So let's go ahead and put this strand back together. Yeah, I'd say that looks much better. And if I straighten out the angle right there, it'll pull it away from the head a little bit, but I think that is correct. And much like with the upper right that I've been looking at, I think I actually want this to connect just a little bit higher. So maybe something like that will look a little bit better. Yeah, I think so. And it's even making this look a little bit better too. But I agree with the right turn there, that it's sticking out just a little bit too much. Let's just push it closer. This strand is very close to the head. Just barely comes off, just enough to add a little bit of extra volume to the hair. I think it looks very nice. Yeah, and there it goes. That wasn't so bad at all. This time it wasn't just my brain exaggerating the scariness of something, it was just I got distracted by something else, and I wanted to finish it. I'm definitely gonna have to fix that in the lower right, too. But that's okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I think I want to revisit this entire area tomorrow. So I suppose this will be where I stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.